Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be doing a collaboration with a special guest, which I will introduce in a few seconds. However, I want to start with saying that I am going to be making a silk almond bar. So I took silk almond milk, I froze it, put it into the liquid form into ice cube tray, froze it, and now I am going to use my lye solution or my lye to melt it and create my lye solution. I have fully replaced the water with the silk almond milk, so this is strictly a silk almond milk soap, and I'm excited for you guys to see the results. Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Artisan Soap by Black Hands. Hi, and I have a special guest with me.
Yeah, I'm the owner of Cadence Rose.
So we're so excited to have her here. We are going to be collabing and making a silk almond milk bar. So if you've never seen silk almond bar or silk almond milk in a bar, you are in for a real treat. We'll show you step by step how we make it. So without further ado, let's get started. First, we're going to start with prepping our colors. So we're going to be using brick red pigment, which is sort of like a darker red, almost burgundy. And then in here we have our wild cranberry aspen oil, which we get from brambleberry, and it smells amazing. And then we also have additives, which will be kaolin clay and colloidal oatmeal. So Cadence Rose will start with mixing the brick red pigment, because normally when I mix my colors, I do them ahead of time so that there's no clumps in the soap. So I'll take like 1 teaspoon of the brick red pigment and then 1 tablespoon of the oils and mix it together. So we'll show you how we do that. Yep, so Cadence Rose is going to show you how we mix the color, how we pre-mix the color before we start the soap, just because again, I just want to make sure that there's no clumps, no speckles. If you ever seen some of those soap bars with the speckles in it, I wanted to avoid having those speckles in the soap, and they're not harmful, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just aesthetically I want it to be as perfect as possible. So then we take 1 tablespoon of the oils that we have already melted down. So in this recipe, I have olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, and cocoa butter. So, and again, she's just mixing that to make sure there's no clumps. So we want to get rid of all the powderness of the color out. And then once we do that, we'll set it aside. So like I said before, we are using silk almond milk in the lye solution. I showed you earlier how I mixed the ice cubes. I froze the silk almond oil, or milk, sorry. And I used the lye to actually melt down the ice cubes. And so now we have this. Take the temperature of that, and it is 94 degrees, and our oils are 111 degrees. I just like for everything to be under 120, so this works out great. I take my stick blender, I burp it to get all the bubbles out, so I'll pat it down on the container a few times just to make sure I get rid of any possible bubbles. And then I'll take my strainer just in case there's any undissolved lye. I don't want that in there because that could be harmful. And then I just pour this over the stick blender. And that's just to prevent it from having as many air bubbles, which air bubbles turn into holes in the soap once you get it. Which again, not harmful, but I think you probably want all of your soap bars. So while we're mixing that, I'm gonna ask Cadence a few questions. So Cadence, what made you start making soap?
Well, I've mentioned this before on my channel, but I started growing out my hair. I had been cutting it really short, and I had been straightening it on like 450 with no heat protection for like over a year. So I had messed it up, and I wanted to find a routine that could like help my hair, but not be so long and expensive, because a lot of, especially when you're looking at curly hair stuff, they can be really long. So I started using and making like actual soap and stuff like that, and it helped my hair. Like, it was something simple I could do, but it made my hair feel really good, and my hair has been growing good and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it made me want to make something and formulate recipes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I kind of started with that.
And let me tell you, I ordered her apple rosemary soap bar or shampoo bar, and it's great. I still have it. I love it. I use it in my hair, and it does make it feel really soft and manageable. So definitely go check that out if you have not already, because I love that bar.
It's nice because we've had a lot of people try it and like it, but it's nice to see that a lot of people like it. And
right,
you know,
yeah.
I try to formulate it with as many good ingredients as possible, so that's cool.
So right now I'm just stirring the oils in the lye solution before we start stick blending it. But Cadence, how did your first soap making experience go?
It went well. Like, I think we got pretty lucky. We did a 100% coconut oil soap, but we did it in cavity mold, so it didn't get too hot. And I mean, I think the only thing that was kind of a little step back was like, I was very like lye cautious. We had the whole like crazy mask on, and we froze the water too. We did eyeglasses and so much stuff going on that like it was a lot. But I think, and of course I still do proper lye safety and stuff like that, but I had a little bit too much fear of the lye, so it was meh. But the soap came out good. It didn't come out the color that we wanted it to, but everything went good. And by the time we used that bar of soap, we were like, okay, we know that this is good and we need to make more of this. So
right, and it was probably a really hard bar too, right?
Yeah, that's just like another thing. I'm glad we did it in cavity molds, because coconut oil soap, you have to cut it fast, otherwise you'll break stuff.
Yeah, I did 100% coconut oil in like my mini loaf. It's like a 1 pound loaf bar, and I cut it like 13 hours later because I was too afraid that if I waited the full 24 hours it would break my cutter, and I just don't want that cutter to break. I really don't.
Yeah. We've had it break before, and it's not fun to replace that.
Right. So what made you start or wanting to sell your products?
Well, we had started doing all natural stuff. We had been doing that from the beginning, but doing more research into clays and essential oils and doing so much research into that, and we were like, why not provide people with all natural stuff? I have a family member who she is so into like all natural stuff, using herbal teas and things like that, and she's kind of, it's cool because she's our like target audience kind of.
Right, that's
so
good.
Speaking to someone like that, and like we should, you know, it's something that we love to make and I love to do, but why not provide people with something that's all natural and good quality products, you know? And yeah, that's kind of how we started to do that.
You know, I have a friend who calls me crunchy. Have you heard that term, crunchy people? She said people who, and you have to look it up, and it's in like some special dictionary because obviously that's not what Webster defines crunchy as. But she said basically it's people who like natural products or eco-friendly products, you know, because I was telling her how I wanted to get like some moisturizer for my last daughter. She has eczema too, and I said I want to like make some lotion for her, and she's like, why don't you just go buy Jergens? And I was like, no, I'll just make it. And she's like, that's such a crunchy thing to say. Like, crunchy people would make their own stuff. And I said, well, I guess I'm crunchy because I make my own stuff. Like, why go out and spend all that money for chemicals when I can make it naturally at home?
And that's what one thing is like. When we first started, we were hoping that this would be a strong enough thing that people would appreciate. And going to markets and speaking with people in person, we get so many customers who come up and are like, you know, it's nice that this is natural because me or a family member have such sensitive skin or can't handle strong smells or different things like that. And it's nice to be able to have everybody be a part of your customer base, you know?
Right, exactly. And nowadays people are becoming more knowledgeable and conscious of the fact that there's a lot of chemicals in products. So it's nice that we're able to do this.
Yeah.
So now we'll add in the additives. And we'll stick blend a little bit, but I'm going to move the camera down so you guys can see. So now Cadence is just going to take our additives, which is colloidal oatmeal as well as kaolin clay, and stick blend that in the oils and the lye solution. So what was the inspiration behind your business name?
Well, we had a few picked that we, weren't able to get because of trademarks and stuff like that. But we ended up going with Cadence Rose, my name, because it's something that, like, even if we decided to stop making soap, or if I wanted to do something different, it would still be relevant to me and all that. And also, like, one thing one of my family members mentioned, like, when you think of like Martha Stewart or something, you don't have to think of her businesses, you just think of her.
Right.
So, like, even though that's I'm not Martha Stewart, and that's not probably gonna happen, but, like, if you ever get to that type of status, it's you, and I think that's cool. So
I think it is cool using your name, because it also gives you the opportunity to just build up a personal brand too, in case, like, you don't want to do soap and you just want to, maybe just do videos where you talk about soap, or you talk about, like, business in general. You can do that.
And like, when a lot of people like my name, I used to not like my name when I was a little bit younger, but people come up and they're like, ooh, that's nice, and stuff like. So it is cool to hear those type of compliments.
It is a cool name, because I thought, like, your name was Rose and Cadence was something that you came up with, and I was like, that's really cute that you put those together, not knowing that your mom did it.
Yeah, well, it's just like, it's a little bit nice to have something a little different for YouTube. So I introduced myself as Rose, just as something that's, like, it can distance it a little bit, but like, it's my name, I don't care. I don't have like a nickname in real life. People just call me Cadence, and so, but it's just like, it's whatever. But I think it's a nice name, and plus it has a little bit of flow, and it's just,
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect combination. It really does. I thought it was very pretty.
Thank you.
So what made you want to start a YouTube?
Well, we wanted to show how to make our products and things like that, because also to teach people, but also one thing a lot of people look forward to with businesses and stuff like that is seeing how they make their stuff. And a lot of people, like, if you look at their shops, or people who they had YouTube and then they stopped at some point, and then they see they still have their shop running, but you want to see how they do their stuff. And I think it's nice to be able to show the behind the scenes, and maybe something somebody didn't know, and also, of course, promoting and stuff like that, so people can get the word about our all natural products and stuff like that. So that's why we started. And plus, I like YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time. That's my big thing, screen time hours and stuff like that.
Me too. I definitely spend more. I know TikTok is, like, big now, but YouTube is still my go-to. Even when it comes to, like, learning how to do something, I don't want to search it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I search everything, and if it's not Google, it's YouTube, and now they're owned by the same person, so
Yeah.
It works out. What was your experience like with making your first YouTube video?
It was a little rocky. I probably filmed, like, set up my tripod and my camera and filmed maybe 3 videos, and kind of, like, played with the editing a little bit and ended up scrapping them, just because I was a little bit like, I'd be making the video and then I'd stop midway because I was like, I'm not natural at this, what do I say?
Yeah.
But by the time I made my 4th one, it kind of came together better, and I got better with my editing. And of course, you just have to start and see people also make comments and stuff. It makes it feel a lot better. So doing it, like, starting to post and stuff like that, just makes it more comfortable. And when you actually think of, oh, I'm speaking to this amount of people, I'm speaking to these commenters, it makes it feel more, like, comfortable.
Right, yeah. And I think a lot of like, when you have the real true supporters, they make it easier for you to feel comfortable in, like, their comments, because they'll put, like, the nice job, or I like this, and it makes you feel good, because you're like, okay, I did something right.
Yeah.
So that's good. And how many times do you post on YouTube a week?
It kind of varies, but I try to get at least 2 times a week.
Okay. That's been my goal too. Like, I'll do one long form, and then I'll do my shorts. But when I say, like, posting, I'm always thinking of long form, not necessarily shorts. Although YouTube considers shorts to be a video. So technically I post like 5 or 6 videos, but in my head I'm just posting.
Yeah. And like recently we had I had somebody email me about like asking for soap help, and
yeah, that's nice.
like she was so sweet and like gushing about how she loved my channel and stuff like that. And it makes it feel, because posting 2 videos a week or even 1, that's something like, that's work. You have to take time out of your day, and it makes it feel worth it. You feel rewarded when you get people like that who are willing to take your advice and stuff like that. So
right, genuinely, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna stick blend this just a little bit more, then we're gonna pour it into the brick red pigment. So, yes, we still have the fragrance actually, which is Wild Cranberry Aspen. And I measure out the overall, but I don't measure it into different containers. I just pour a little bit here and a little bit there, and we just stir. I think that's ready for pour. So what I do is I always put my spatula in there just because I want to pour the soap batter over that to prevent any air bubbles. So what I'll do is I'll pour some of this, and Cadence will pour, she'll drop swirl it with the pigment, and we'll just keep going, alternating. So unfortunately, I lost a little bit of my footage as I was swirling it, but it came out pretty, and I'll insert a photo of that here. But I thank you guys for tuning in to my milk almond bar, and I really appreciate my guests coming all the way from Virginia to do this collaboration with me. So I appreciate that, Cadence Rose. And go ahead and tell them where to look for you and where to follow you.
yeah, so our shop is at CadenceRoseco.com and CadenceRoseco.etsy.com. That is where you can get our all natural soaps and stuff like that, and you can find me at Cadence Roseco on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So yeah.
Thanks for watching, and for now, black hands are out. Bye bye, guys.